It's Vernisa, and I'm here to speak up. It's time to speak up. Hello everyone, my name is Vernisa and this is my podcast, Speak Up. Hope you guys are all having a great week so far. For those of you that don't know, the mission statement for this podcast is we'll use our voices to motivate people to overcome life's challenges through self-love and respect. So yes, this is a place for self-love and respect. Before I get started, a quick shout out to my amazing sponsors. Shout out to My Bar, located at 720 East Manchester in Inglewood, California. Get your nails, your lashes, your hair done. Hit them up on Instagram at mybar. That's at myy.bar. And also a shout out to my newest sponsor, the Event Wellness LLC. Book now with them for massage therapy, non-invasive body contouring, and health and wellness events. Ask for Michelle. Book on Instagram at the Event Wellness. So shout out to my new sponsor. Tap in, y'all. Hey, Michelle, if you out there listening. So now it's time to get into the episode. So, I hope you guys are all having a great October so far. I feel like the end of the year is here. Everything's like declining. We're in that space. It's like, okay, the end of the year is here. What do I do now? How do I pace? So tonight's episode is titled Fill It Up. So I'm going to be talking about pacing yourself, seeing the cup half full and not half empty, and remembering why you started. So these are very, very important topics, I think, because, especially at the end of the year, we reflect a lot. We're looking back at the year, at things we didn't accomplish, things we should have done better, And, we have to remember life is about pacing. And, it's really about seeing how far you came versus like what hasn't been done. It's okay to reflect on what hasn't been done, but don't beat yourself up if certain things haven't been done, because we always have another, every day we wake up, it's a new opportunity to make that change or to make progress towards the direction that we want to go in. So tonight's Ask Up question. So the Ask Up question for the night is, do you see the cup half full or half empty in life? So if you're listening out there, please comment. I would love to read your comments. I always go back and read the comments to see what you guys say. So I'm going to go ahead and answer first. I would say I see the cup half full. I've always one of those people, even when things go south, whatever, I've always been optimistic. Like, oh, this is happening for a reason. I try to see the good in things. I've never been the type to really like dwell and stay and like, oh, this hasn't been done, because I feel like if I tried my best or whatever, okay, that's all I could do. So my mindset has definitely been wired to see the cup half full. Like, okay, this is a part of the journey. Let's keep it pushing. But I know some of us out there, we probably see it half empty. And it's like, I think it's important for us to debunk this on why we see the cup half empty and how can we switch that and, make the most out of life and not be so stuck in, putting extra pressure on ourselves or on others, when it comes to things. So let's talk about the importance of seeing the cup half full. I think it's very important, in a day, we do all that we can do in a day. And I think if we wait, the more time that we waste dwelling on what coulda, shoulda, would have been, it's actually prolonging the journey and making us stuck. And I think that's where that negative self-talk comes in, where we end up beating up ourselves for not getting certain things done. I think we need to embrace that life is a journey, and it's the baby steps that make every day. There's this book called The Compound Effect, and it talks about how, the micro things create big things. So they're saying how, in the book, it talked about how, like, if you were to save 1 penny a day, like, yeah, 1 penny doesn't seem like a lot, but if you see 1 penny in the grace of a year, 2 years, longer than that, that's actually more money. So I think we need to like give ourselves grace sometimes and look at life that way, especially when we're pacing ourselves. Like, yeah, you may be on a fitness journey, you did your first run, you did your first workout, and it just seems like, oh my goodness, but imagine the results as time passes. Life is definitely a journey. I just want to throw this out there. Like, y'all know I talk about my running journey a lot on here. I actually, over this past weekend, just ran my first half marathon, and I'm going to debunk this a little bit because running something I never ran before, running has taught me the importance of pace, pacing yourself. 13 miles isn't easy just to run. You really do have to pace yourself to make it to the finish line. And with me doing that, I remember when I first started running, a mile seemed like a lot. 2 miles seemed like a lot to even walk, whatever. But then jumping to running 13, it's definitely has been something I can relate to life and be like, okay, the more I put more on these stepping stones, the better you can get, the better you can excel. You know, I was thinking about one of Nipsey's songs, and one of his lyrics in his song was "Marathon life. It's all about the pace. A lot of people run the sprints, but they never run the race." And I think, first of all, that was a bar right there. That's an important thing. I think we try to go through life sprinting, and what happens when you sprint? Yeah, you going fast at first, but once that runs out, you kind of die out. But that pace is actually going to get you to the finish line. Like, imagine y'all, I sprinted the half marathon. I wouldn't have finished. I probably would have ran for not even a mile, but that pace is what actually kept me going. And I think we have to look at life like that. I think, we want instant gratification. Things happen right now, this, and this. Always on to the next thing, but not embracing the journey and what happens in between that. We meet so many people on our journey. We experience so many things, but I think if when we spend so much time focus on the next chapter, we don't get to enjoy where we are or what lesson is actually being placed in front of us. And I think that's the importance of a marathon, a half marathon in life. Is what do you come across in between that? And you're able to enjoy the fruits of your rewards when you actually do get it, when you actually do pace yourself and feel deserving of it, if that makes sense. We are in a time where instant gratification is huge. We look at all these social media videos, this person getting this, and this happened. Overnight celebrities, a video going viral, now they're boom. There's no work in between. Like, I think of like music and like artists and stuff back in the day. They really had to work to get discovered. Like, they really had to go to auditions, put themselves out there. The social media wasn't big, the internet wasn't big. People really had to put in that time and grind. We're in a time now, one of your videos could go viral, which is cool. You can just blow up tomorrow, which is amazing. I'm not knocking it, but at the same time, I think, with those notions being thrown at us, it makes us want to skip the process in other areas of our lives. So I don't know. That's just something to think about. Especially going into October, New Year coming. If certain things you didn't accomplish didn't happen, let's take off that instant gratification lens. And then there's a goal you've been working on this year, and let's say you fully didn't hit it yet. Take some time to realize, to think about what you did accomplish. So let's say you wanted to start something and you started it. You didn't fully do execute it, but you at least started the planning, the mapping. I think that's a good starting point right there, because I think if we beat ourselves up about it not getting done, you're not going to start anyway, because you're going to be so stuck in, damn, I should have did it with this, and this, versus, okay, you know what? I did map it out. I did tell somebody I wanted to do this. Use that energy to actually get you to complete whatever it is that you're trying to do. There's a lot of goals. I'm going to be around here. Like I said, I'm very honest on this platform. There's a lot of goals I wrote out for 2023. Certain things I didn't get to start yet, or I kind of started, but I kind of didn't follow through. But, I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up, because in the day, I know I've excelled in certain areas this year where I was supposed to. And it doesn't mean that those goals can't still be accomplished, but it's really about starting continuing where you started and push it forward, and pace yourself in this life. Really pace yourself. This year taught me the importance of multitasking and time management. I did catch myself trying to do too much at once, take on all these different things. There's a lot of transitions with me this year. And now we're in October. I'm like, I'm a pace, I'm gonna do what I can. It's okay if this and this doesn't get done. I'm gonna give them energy to be more intentional with my time and energy, to avoid that burnout of like, damn, I should have did such and so. But it is now time for the tweet up segment. See, I know I like to be on Twitter, X, whatever they call it, but something that I tweeted this week that goes with this episode is pace yourselves. Speeding the process knocks your clarity. So we're gonna debunk this a little bit. I'll be real, y'all. Being impulsive leads to the wrong decisions. How many of y'all had to make a decision quickly, or y'all you didn't think nothing through, you got excited, or you were in anger and you did something and it was like, oops, I should never did that. Pace yourself. You actually have more time to think about what you really want. That rushing stuff don't get you nowhere. It might get you to the destination a little faster, but it ain't gonna be, it's gonna be crappy. That's like forcing something that shouldn't be done. That's like if you met somebody and you hurry up and rush to make them your significant other. Don't know nothing about them. You didn't pace yourself through the process, and then you find out it's really not a match. So it's the same with life. Sometimes we have to pace ourselves with certain decisions that we make. Really take the time to think: is this what I really want? Is this how? There's no reward for cutting corners in life. It seems cool in that moment, but sometimes it's not really what we want. And I'm gonna be real, I've made some impulsive decisions and been like, why did I do that? Rushing also allows you to settle. I know, let's be real, it's easy to settle. Sometimes you're like, why do I have certain standards for myself? I'm real, having high standards isn't easy. I think, we hear all these things like, oh, you have high standards for yourself. This is for your goals, for people, for your significant other, this, and this. It sounds easy, but it gets hard. You have moments when it's like, why am I doing all this? Let me just get this. So I think that's why it's important to pace too, because when you start rushing through, you might just say F it and make that impulsive, temporary decision to settle when it ain't really what you want, So that's why I'm huge on like self-reflection, really think, taking time to think things over, especially when it comes to people, relationships in my life, all those things. So that's definitely a message for the tweet up. It is now time for the Life Up segment. So the Life Up segment is when I take the topic and I relate it to today's world, like to a problem in today's world. So tonight's Life Up is people seeing the cup half empty, not celebrating your many wins because it isn't the big win, putting extra pressure on yourself, comparison on social media, and wanting to skip the hard work. So these are big, huge ones that goes with tonight's episode. So I'm gonna start with people seeing the cup half empty in life. That's us dwelling. That's us being stuck in stagnant energy. That's us being mean to ourselves. That's us not having grace with ourselves. And we see it a lot. I've been guilty of that sometimes, being mean to I used to be, there's a time when my self-talk was not the business. And once I shifted that, it's like, okay, I'm more gentle with myself. And even if things ain't done, I pivot through. And I'm like, okay, it's time to get it together. We see it on social media, a lot of people dwelling over their L's and not seeing it as lessons. And also too, not celebrating your mini wins because it isn't the big win. This is huge. I'll bring back my running journey. Eventually I do want to run a marathon, but guess what? When I finished my half marathon, I've celebrated, and I took that time to celebrate that mini win, because guess what? If I didn't celebrate the half marathon, I wouldn't, it's like me dismissing all the hard work that it took for me to get there, because I'm so focused on what's not a marathon. And, we have to see that in life. Like, say you want to start a business, and you have the business plan ready. You did this, you did the paperwork. That's a mini win right there. Celebrate that. You're taking the steps closer and closer to that goal. That's actually going to keep you excited. We need to be enthusiastic on the journey. If we're not, that actually makes you want to quit. Be happy on it. You started, you did this, you took that first step, you shot your first episode of that podcast, you started, whatever it is. Allow yourself to be happy about the wins, to enjoy the journey. Another one is putting extra pressure on yourself. That goes with seeing the cup half empty. Because once we start viewing it from that perspective, we actually there's nothing wrong with like innocent pleasure. I'm not saying don't put any pressure on yourself. I feel like healthy pressure is fine when you get to the point to where like you're being mean to yourself. That's when that you can't work good under pressure. I mean, I'm good under pressure, but if it's too much pressure, no. I'm gonna be honest with you on that. Comparison on social media. I feel like I've talked about this on every episode. Quit judging the chapter you're in to someone else's chapter. They might be in another chapter that's way ahead of yours. You don't know what they went through to get to that chapter that they are in. Another one too is wanting to skip the hard work. And I think that goes with seeing the cup half empty. We want to jump so much to the cup being full that we want to skip the work that comes with it. A lot of these business owners that we see, people who blew up, like we didn't see the behind the scenes, what they really had to endure to get it to look like that. A lot of things take hard work and dedication. Yes, people don't broadcast it all the time, but it doesn't mean that work isn't being done. And I think that's why it's important to really focus on our own lane, because when you're focused on other people's lane, you're going to start subconsciously comparing yourself to them, and then feeling like you're doing something wrong or you shouldn't be doing what you're doing because your journey didn't look like theirs. And that's the thing. All of our journeys are meant to be unique. So allow it to be. That's the beautiful thing about life. We all have different purposes, different things that we bring to the table. We should all be able to blossom and be different flowers. And I want to say this too, your why will keep you going. So whenever you're having this pressure, you're feeling like you're not enough, think about that why to get you back on your feet to go after what you have to do. Strategic moves are better than impulsive moves. So yes, we all have impulsive moments, but sometimes you got to sit back and really map out, is this really what I want to do? Is this intentional? Is this where I want to give my time and energy to make what I want happen? So I'm all for the strategic moves. I've been learning the importance of that. Kind of sitting back and observing too. Like, it doesn't hurt to observe every now and then, because being impulsive really don't get you nowhere. It is now time for the drink up segment. If you're listening out there, please pull out some water and drink your water. And I'm going to have a water fact for tonight. Oh, I needed that sip. Okay. Tonight's drink up water fact is staying hydrated is important for runners for a number of reasons. It enhances your ability to regulate temperature and cool itself down efficiently without unnecessarily elevating your heart rate, and it also improves your ability to recover quickly from a workout, according to Running Magazine. So I did that half a marathon. I know that water was needed. Shout out to the people at the running stations. You guys are very appreciated. Yeah, so please drink some water out there. Stay hydrated. I know it's getting colder, but you still have to stay hydrated. A lot of people forget to drink water when it's colder. They feel like they don't need it as much. You need it just as much. So please drink some water. Now back to the episode. Celebrate the milestones in your life, and the checkpoints are important. You ever be playing like one of those racing games at the arcade, and there's a checkpoint. Those are necessary, because especially when you lose in the race, it's like, damn, you get that checkpoint. It's like, okay, let me get it together so I can win this race. Because when we get to the checkpoints, actually, someone could be first, but doesn't mean they're going to finish at first. So that's your time to really recuperate. Have those checkpoints in life. Have those checkpoints where you really get yourself together. I had a day this weekend where I kind of just got myself together. I've been on the go doing a lot of things. And I took some time to really rest. I got up, cleaned up my space, cooked me a nice meal, did some stretches. I recuperated. I had a checkpoint moment. I was able to reflect, really think what I want, what intentions do I want for myself for the month, for the week. Those times are necessary. It's easy to get caught up in this life. We're stuck doing this and that, but please take those checkpoints in life. Those mini breaks. They're very much needed. It is now time for the Poet Up segment. So y'all know this is one of my newest segments on SpeakUpJV now, the Poet Up. So I'm going to share a quote or two from one of my poems. This is from my poem Butterfly. So here's a short, sweet sentence from it. She was like a butterfly, transformed and ready to explore. She took the time to learn how to use her wings by letting go of self-doubt. So you guys enjoy this short, sweet, thing. And speaking of self-doubt, don't let self-doubt get in the way of your why. So we all got a purpose. We have a why. We have a reason we're doing what we're doing. Silence that self-doubt that's telling you that you cannot make that happen. I used to struggle with self-doubt. That was my biggest thing, my negative self-talk and my self-doubt. And I didn't realize the power was in me the whole time. It really shades what you're trying to do. Because, we waste so much time being stuck in that self-doubt that the big picture is in front of us and you don't even see it because of that cloud that's in front of you. So really spend that time with yourself, reflect, take deep breaths, speak life into yourself, figure out what you really want, who you really are, so those clouds can move out the way and you can chase after your purpose, after your why, whatever it is, whatever that may look like for you. But please don't let self-doubt get in the way of your why, because guess what? The why is going to fuel you to keep going in the first place. So don't let it get blocked. It is now time for the show up segment. Show up segment. So I'm going to start with you guys. First of all, if you're in the comments, please answer this. How did you show up for yourself this week? I would love to know. So how did I show up for myself this week? I would say I gave myself my flowers. So I was proud of myself for doing that run. And instead of being stuck in self doubt or feeling imposter syndrome, feeling like I wasn't worthy, I gave myself my flowers for the hard work that I did to be able to run a half marathon. So that's how I showed up for myself this week. And, I allowed myself to be happy and just embrace like the congratulations and stuff. Cause I used to be very hard on myself. I would make an accomplishment. People would give me my flowers, and I wouldn't accept them because I was like, well, it's not the big goal. I didn't feel worthy or deserving of it. So I'm just proud of how I've changed and I really have accepted the good in life. So feel free to comment. How did you show for yourself this week? I definitely would love to know. Whew. But yeah, so remember y'all, your purpose is bigger than you. We put so much on ourselves and this and this, but when you really think of your why and your purpose and you think about how big it is, that's more of a reason to keep going. Sometimes we get stuck in our own little bubble, our own little cloud that we forget, other people are watching us too. There's so many lives we can impact in a positive way, so use those things as motivations, as fuel. The bigger the why, the more important it will be to you. So I've said this in previous episodes. Sometimes your why changes, and that's okay too, but figure out whatever that is to keep you going. It's now time for the wrap-up segment. This is a wrap-up segment. So how does this relate to self-love? Self-love is loving yourself enough to be able to pace yourself, and take those deep breaths that you need, honoring your why, remembering why you started, seeing the cup half full, seeing the good in life, shifting your perspective. In the day, our perspective shapes our reality. So you and another person could be literally staring at the same image, but your perspective, which you visualize, how you see it, is going to determine how you feel about it. It's going to shift your reality. So let's do that with life. I'm not saying like be fake positive when things go bad, but sometimes you do gotta like just find the gratitude in the littlest things, really shift your perspective, pat yourself on the back for how far you did come so you can get back up and keep going. That's like literally the message that I'm trying to hit here. And reflection will keep you on track. So allow yourself to self-reflect, figure out what it is, and keep it pushing. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. I really enjoyed being on here speaking on this platform. It feels good to be back. Remember, you can follow SpeakUpJV on Instagram at SpeakUpJV. It's on Twitter at SpeakUpJV. And I do episodes every Thursday. And I also have a giveaway coming up. I know I keep saying it, but it's coming very soon. So stay tuned for those details. But before I go, quick shout out to my amazing sponsors. Shout out to My Bar, located at 720 East Manchester, Inglewood, California. Get your nails, your lashes, your hair done. Ask your mind. Tell them that SpeakUpJV sent you. The Instagram is at MYY.BAR. And also shout out to my newest sponsor, the Event Wellness LLC. Book now with the Event Wellness LLC for massage therapy, non-invasive body contouring, and health and wellness events. Ask for Michelle, and you can book. The Instagram is at the Event Wellness. I love you guys. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. And yeah, I will be back. Love y'all. Take care.